Welcome everybody. In tonight's video, I have an interesting little project going on. As some of you may know already, I have acquired a Knafs Lander 1 from the Knafs Co. website, and it has become one of my favorite little EDC knives ever. This little sucker is awesome. It's durable, holds an edge well. It's comfortable despite being small. It's just really good. And the other day, I saw on the Knafs website that a certain style of scales were half off. So I went and I bought these scales. Also, I bought some lunch from the Knafs website. As some of you may know, he sells burritos. This is a tool burrito. I'll do a review on this thing in another video. But we slapped the sucker open, and I'm loving how this is laid out here. This isn't a final form of what all I'm going to have in the bag. We'll just scooch that off to the side. There you go. I got some tools, some knickknacks, and I got some accoutrements in here. Let's see. But here are the scales, and these are lunar scales. These are not textured with the meteors. They have like a 3D printed texture on them, but that's like from the 3D printing process, not the little craters themselves, which I was a little disappointed with. I kind of thought it would have the craters, but yeah, no big deal. That's fine. And so something that I've mentioned about the Lander 1 and the other Landers, presumably, but I haven't had those yet, is that you can take the scales off without disassembling the entire knife. And I'm going to show you kind of how that works right now. So I go for the pry bar, because this is an Olight pry bar that holds some bits inside of it that are very strongly magnetized inside. There we go. Let's see. I don't know if this has the proper sizes for a lander. That one's too big. We're going to take the scales off. Oh, there we go. Break the blue Loctite. I'll get me some blue Loctite somewhere down the road, but snap the Loctite, because Ben will put blue Loctite on the screws. Slap the screw over there on a magnet, which is something else that's really nice, is having the magnets to just hold stuff when you're working on it. Sorry if I don't talk too much during this video, because I end up focusing on the task at hand. But I don't know if you can see the residuals of the blue Loctite there. Turn my lamp up a notch. I got to take out the screws here just a little bit, which is fine. Plunk. And now we can shimmy and jimmy and lift off the scales. So I've never seen, this is the first time I've disassembled this knife since I got it. But you can see how you can just like work the knife without the scales. Although, design note for Ben, I don't know why you didn't hide the blade better in the scales here, because the blade does stick out. Like, you need the scales to hide the blade. Like, from a design standpoint, I kind of wish Ben would have kind of tucked that in a little bit better. But that's just me. Ooh, yes, that's looking nice. Ooh, yes. This is promising. So, we put the little thingy back in, the little blank for the clip, because my clip is on the other side. Snug that down nice and easily. Don't have to crank these screws tight, because there's no function to the screws. They just kind of hold the scales on. It's not like they're holding a pivot or the frame of the knife together. So, you know, you can go a little easier on these guys. And he has a video on how to disassemble a lander on the Knafs YouTube channel, I believe, which you can check that out if you want. And I am tempted to just leave it like this because you have the moon and then you have the dark side of the moon. But, you know, you got to do the whole shebang. These are maybe a little slippy, but they'll probably get grippier as time goes. So, undo the clip. This has been a fun little pry bar for me. I don't EDC it in my pocket. I usually carry the Otical P2 from Olight. This is my favored pry bar, and as you can see, it has seen some abuse. But that's titanium for you, and I love it. It's fantastic. And these magnets on here on this thing is super strong. Like, you're not losing stuff unless you like flap the tool burrito around. Like you're on a picnic table at a park. You can knock it around a little bit and you wouldn't worry about losing your stuff on the magnets. And there's magnets in all four corners. One up here, one down here, one over here, one there. So we take out that screw, plunk it down, and if you, when you buy a lander, if you've never had a lander before, you will get spare screws to work on stuff. Like my lander, this is what it came with, and they came with some blue Loctite on them to start with, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and put these in here so that I don't lose them. And we lift off the scale, and here's the other side of the knife. Again, you know, solid lockup, no blade play, because that, you know, the necessary screws to keep it closed are keeping it closed. So now we add the other set of scales to it. Now I may not keep these on the knife for long. I may switch back to the black scales because they're more utilitarian for me, but for some style for now, and because the knife is called the lander, you got to get moon scales. It's just a must. I hope somewhere down the road Ben ends up making like the whole 9 planets. Yes, I count Pluto as a planet. The whole 9 planets as knives, and the moons and stuff, or at least like the moons of the planets. But pop out. There we go. We've got the lander here for the Earth's moon. So how about something for Mars's moon? That'd be cool. Screw that in. Sometimes you got to push a little bit to get the screws started because the spring of the clip may be fighting you. Never know sometimes with these. Or did I put the wrong screw in already? Because some are tapered, some are flat. That one's a flat one. Because the screws are a little different amongst each other. But yeah, that looks fine. Or is it? I don't know. Oh, I was screwing the dummy. I am a dummy sometimes. I was on the wrong side of the knife. Okay, that one looks fine. This one. Yep, wrong screw. There are screws that go in their proper places on this knife, so keep track of it. Don't do what I did and goof. You do kind of have to push down on the pocket clip a little bit because that's how the pocket clip keeps its tension to hold the knife in the pocket. Then we'll come back here. Slip that on. Give it a little snuggin'. And we're back in business, and we haven't ruined any of the hardcore, you know, fit and function of the knife. We have just changed the scales. These are a little bit slipperier than the original scales that come on the knife. So keep note of that. But now I have lander scales for my lander. Lunar scales for my lander. A little copper bead that I threw on. So yeah, that's how the lander can be disassembled. I didn't do the whole disassembly, I know, but you can see that there's layers to the knife and how you can just like customize the scales. And then there's free downloads of the 3D print CAD files and stuff if you wish to 3D print your own lander scales. And I hope someone does some copper ones down the road because I want some copper scales. But that is how you swap scales on a Lander 1. Thank you for watching. Hope you got some enjoyment out of this video. Hope you learned something out of it. And hope it helps you build your EDC and your Knafs lander to your satisfaction. And until the next time, farewell, carry well, and a bye-bye.